and welcome to our weekly virtual wine tasting. I hope you guys are all staying cool out there.
My goodness, it is so hot.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't believe it's 95 degrees.
It was just 100 degrees a few days ago
Yeah.
for a couple days in a row. Yeah. Welcome and thank you for joining us on another episode of Continuing Community Through Technology. And we're excited to have you again today.
Yes.
And we're excited about today's wine.
Yes. Today we are tasting, it's a Wine Club member exclusive. It's our 2016 Semillon from Rebecca's Vineyard, which is in the Umpqua Valley, down near Yoncalla. This is a really fun varietal. I had never heard of it before I started working here, so.
Which makes sense. It's not a commonly planted varietal nationally at all, internationally. It's kind of one of those under the radar whites that's mostly used for blending. So it's very rare to find a 100% varietal bottling of Semillon. Originally from France, obviously, hence the name. And it's made in a few styles. In Australia, it's widely known and it's blended with Sauvignon Blanc, which it has some aspects to it that would make it a really nice blending agent for that. But also, there are some brands down in the Hunter Valley area that actually do a 100% Semillon, and they strive for a flavor profile, nice acidity, structure, and balance for it to age for 20 years.
Wow.
And that was the inspiration for this wine. So we might have mentioned before in previous episodes that Jim Seifert, founder of Seifert Winery, he traveled and lived as a business consultant in Australia for quite a while, and he fell in love with a few different types of winemaking in that region, and Semillon in this fashion was one of his favorites. And it was really fun when we were doing research for this wine because we had to dive into a few 10, 15, 20, and 25-year-old Semillons that were really amazing. Ours is only a mere 4 years old, but I anticipate it will continue to age wonderfully. It's also used as a sauterne so that it is turned into a dessert wine and fully botryticized in some regions where that is popular. And that definitely occurs in the Willamette Valley here, and we might do it in the future. We actually did a botryticized Riesling, which was so fantastic. It is way sold out, and that's a totally different episode.
Yes.
Completely different wine. But you may come across Semillon in that context as well. But this is a full, completely dry, bright, vibrant iteration from the North Umpqua Valley, I would consider, very north.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm just going to come up to the camera for a second with the color of this wine because I love the kind of caramelized honey tone of it. I think it's really beautiful.
Yes, and definitely has honey flavors.
Yes.
And on the nose, floral and honey.
Mm-hmm.
I could see why you would want to mix or blend it with Sauvignon Blanc.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
tart.
Yes.
This would give it a nice smoothness.
Yes. It is very smooth. It has a really nice viscosity on the palate.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely a lot of honey, like you mentioned, maybe a little pear, papaya on the nose.
Starfruit.
Starfruit, for sure.
Lime.
Absolutely lime. Which it's definitely poignant to say lime and not citrus, because it's not lemony. It's very much lime. Yeah. It's very much that bright green flavor profile.
Almost like a key lime that has a, it's a little bit sweeter.
Mm-hmm. I also get a little bit of like a barbecued pineapple, but I eat a lot of pineapple, so that's a flavor I associate with our wine sometimes. But Yeah, undertones of pepper. Would you say like, I would say a white peppercorn.
Yes, I was thinking that.
As opposed to
Yes,
a black
not
or
black
pink
pepper.
peppercorn. Yeah, something that's a little bit softer but
Yes.
has that spice note to it. Yeah. So one thing we've talked about a few times with our white wine program is that everything we do is stainless steel and no secondary fermentation. So no malolactic fermentation. So we keep all that bright acidity in the wine. And in this case, it really helps with its long-term ageability. You want that acid that creates that vibrance and that molecular stability for long-term aging. Yeah, I do find the acid on the finish really palate pleasing. It's really smoothing.
Yes. Yeah, this is a very smooth. It has a very smooth finish for a white wine.
Mm-hmm.
Especially since it hasn't been aged in oak.
Right.
Stainless steel.
Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing grippy there, no tannins. And we usually talk about tannins in the context of fabric. Like we'll say Pinot Noir is sueded or silky, and we'll even apply that to some of our white wines. Traditionally, Semillon is known for having a flavor and viscosity on the tongue of waxiness. And I do get that, but we were joking earlier that that's also the power of suggestion.
Yes.
It wasn't until we were doing a little bit of research that we went, lanolin, that's definitely it. But otherwise, neither of us would have
No, I
described
didn't that before you said it.
No.
But then I was like, oh, I kind of do get a texture on my tongue.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah. And so it does have that finishing coating,
Mm-hmm.
which would make it an excellent wine to pair with heat.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was thinking my dad makes these awesome hot wings on the grill and then coats them in the traditional hot wing sauce.
Yeah.
This would be perfect with it.
Oh yeah, it would.
I love how he does it on the grill because they're so crispy, but they're not oily from being fried. So
Yes.
they're so good.
That would be an excellent pairing.
Yes.
Yeah. With the traditional barbecue sauce or the hot sauce, or you could even do like a smoky mesquite or even a honey barbecue would pick up the aspects of the honey in this.
Or I love like the habanero sauce too.
Yeah.
Really hot.
Yeah. Yeah, and the interesting thing about habanero is it's more of a heat as opposed to like a pepper spice in my mind.
Uh-huh.
So the only kind of spice that I personally enjoy is wasabi and habanero.
Uh-huh.
And those two kind of act fundamentally different on your palate than other peppers. Yeah. And this would be a really great pairing for that.
Yes.
Especially with a sushi. Like, we have in Oregon one of the only farms outside of Japan, if I know my details correctly, and it's grown in Oregon that we have wasabi here. So I'm like a real wasabi fan. I love it. I love the authentic real. I don't do the horseradish. I actually get offended if you bring that to me and you tell me it's wasabi. I'm going to know the difference, and I don't play with that. And so I would definitely pair this with the context of those dishes, 100%. I would love that experience. Because that viscosity of waxiness is really going to coat your palate to amp up for that next bite of spice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with like the saltiness of soy.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially, even if you were doing like a cold soba, that would be really good as well. I think that saltiness with the caramel aspect and weight of this wine on the palate would be very good pairing. Yeah. So another thing we've talked about before are white wines at room temperature and chilled. So we have a little experiment here. We have one wine that has been at room temperature Right now in our facility, we're at a 68 degrees. It's 95 out.
Yes.
And we had our other white chilled down like we do all of the others. And we're going to do a comparison on flavor profile of what we catch and what the difference is and if there's any major difference. So that's our cold one. That's our room temperature. So one thing that I like to brag about with our white wine program is you can try any of our whites room temperature and they will still taste great. If you have a wine and you drink it and you're like, ooh, that is not good, I need to bring the temperature down a few notches, then you're dealing with something that is not very good quality because it has faults that are hidden with a cooler temperature. So
definitely, as a good white wine warms up a little,
yeah,
there's so much more. There's like more floral, more yeah, just you can pick out more of the flavors.
So definitely in the colder temperature of Semillon, it has more of that papaya starfruit lime that's jumping out at me.
I get more of like a honey, almost like, and some tea.
Yeah. So honey flavors, tea notes, floral notes, things that might be just under the radar, just hidden under those more prominent flavors that can peek out of the glass when it's at a cooler temperature. Yeah, I love the honey of that.
Yes.
But it's also kind of like a honeysuckle.
Uh-huh.
Too.
Oh, yes.
Maybe that's an Oregon thing. Is that just an Oregon thing?
I remember on the playground we would go find honeysuckles and it would be so exciting. But I would talk to my cousins about it. They had no idea.
Yeah, that might just be an Oregon thing, but honeysuckles just grow everywhere. And when you're growing up and you're walking down a hiking trail, you just grab one and you chomp on it. And it's beautiful. It's amazing. It's bright. It has that like green note to it, but also that honey flavor. So in the room temperature one, I get that pepper, that white peppercorn you're talking about. That definitely comes out more. But it still really has a nice coating on the palate that is just this smooth salivation that it creates.
Makes you want more.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I would definitely enjoy them both, room temperature and chilled. Very proud of that because it means that on a technical side, the wine is structurally sound and very well and primed for long-term aging.
Yeah, this is a great wine. It's so unique.
It's really unique. It's really fun too because it being a member exclusive wine, it's that one kind of special thing that nobody knows about, that people show up and go, wait, it's not even on the list. Does it really exist? And we have it tucked away. Yes, it exists.
There were only 28 cases produced.
Yeah. So under 30 cases. That's awesome. Very small lot. Yeah. And I love that we're a size of brand that we have the opportunity to segment that small of a lot and produce something very small batch and unique. Some wineries are just way too big that they don't even have a tank small enough to fit the wine to ferment it in that. And that is where our floating lid jacketed stainless steel tanks come into play. I actually love those because you can move the lid up and down based on the volume of juice that you have. So I have a lot of flexibility in our white fermentation program for the different style and different volume of lots. So we can have, one fermentation going that's just for 20 cases, one right next to it hooked up to the chiller that's just for 40 or 60 cases, and we have a lot of flexibility there to do these fun projects like this. Yeah, I'm glad we did.
Yeah, it's very good. some wine club members that come in and they're like, "Where's Rebecca?"
So
and I'm like, "What?"
it's from a vineyard called Rebecca's Vineyard. They do. They walk in the door. Rebecca here? She's here. She's chilling in the cooler. She's been waiting for you guys all day.
So cute.
It is. Yeah.
It's so delicious.
Yeah. You know, one thing that I keep thinking of, that I'm just thinking of now, is growing up, my mom used to make a really good teriyaki chicken. And
I know, I remember.
You remember that? You had to come over for that. Gosh, she's never given me that recipe. Her teriyaki chicken is to die for.
So good.
With the green beans, and
Yes.
I still to this day love green beans. I have a bunch in my greenhouse right now, and they're delicious. I love it. Yeah, so that would pair really nicely with this.
Yeah, because it wasn't like a sweet teriyaki. It was
No.
definitely more salty, which
Yeah.
I don't like the sweet teriyaki. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would love that recipe too.
That would be great.
Yes.
Yeah, they would
Yeah,
definitely
this
serve
would
me.
pair so well with that.
Yeah. That's funny that you remember that. That was always
Yes.
kind of one of our special occasion things. Like, we got to have people over. She made that particular dish.
I had it several times.
Yeah, of
I was
course.
lucky.
Yeah.
So yummy.
And it could go with a wide range of desserts as well. Yeah, absolutely. Probably something more fruit-based.
Yes.
More of a tart, something that has a flaky crust to it.
Like with mandarin oranges.
Mandarin oranges,
Yes.
yeah, for sure. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, that would be a great dessert pairing.
Yes.
Mhm.
Little custard.
Yeah, definitely a custard. Even a lime custard, even something that plays off of the flavors that are already in the glass would just accentuate that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Key lime pie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that would be perfect.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's going to bring out the ripe flavors that are in the wine, but since this is fully dry, it's not going to be an overload of sweetness, because there's no residual sugar on the finish of the wine. So
That's something I really like about our winemaking style here. No residual sugar.
mm-hmm.
I'm not huge into sweet things, but yeah, it just I think all the flavors that you get and sugar on it would just kind of take away from that.
Yeah, absolutely. It would pull from those nice flavors for sure. And there's enough sweet whites on the market that we can continue to do something different. And we've made a few off-dry wines before, and we do have a botryticized Riesling that's done in that Sauterne format that we mentioned a minute ago, but going fully dry and creating that vibrancy of acidity is definitely kind of the backbone of our white wine program, and I love that too. It's
And then all the varietals that you do and just like, and the fact that you'll do a Semillon or like the Auxerrois, which is so unusual.
Yeah.
So fun.
And it has been fun to work with these unusual varietals. Some brands see it as a barrier with their branding because we actually have to continually educate our guests on the details of these small lot varieties, but that's part of the conversation for us.
Yeah.
And that's really fun for us. And doing everything direct to consumer here through the tasting room, it just gives us more to chat about.
Yes.
Which I think is great. And you know, some brands have that concern of, well, are we going to get our 20-person team in the tasting room all to describe this unusual small lot varietal accurately and correctly? And having 20 plus years in hospitality, I can tell you that you're probably not going to,
Yeah.
and that you should not have something so unusual that's going to confuse consumers. But I love that we're able to do that, showcase it, and create a following for that. It's definitely fun.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that we're able to do that too. Definitely.
And I know we'll have one comment today.
Oh.
My dad does not have this in his cell.
No? But you can get one of these Semillons. It'll be available in the 6-week 6-pack that's online.
And we can get that to you.
So we have a complimentary shipping upgrade still happening, which is excellent, so that we can expedite wine across the states during this hot weather. So that's a really nice luxury to have. Yeah. Yeah, now I'm thinking of all the delicious things we could pair with this.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. It's awesome.
Halibut sounds good.
Halibut. Oh my gosh, halibut cheeks.
Oh my gosh, those are my favorite.
Sauteed, just like seared halibut cheeks.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We might need to visit that, Newburgh Fisher.
Yeah,
Fish
Northwest
market, yeah,
Fresh
Northwest.
Seafood in Newburgh, I'm sure has those.
Oh, yeah.
Also would go really good with the saku block that they have.
yes, that was amazing.
That ahi grade sushi, yum. Yeah, yeah, that sounds delicious.
Or their scallops are amazing as well.
Oh gosh, the scallops.
Yes.
Yeah, we're really spoiled here at the Pacific Northwest coast. We have all these great fisheries and all these delicious runs that just come through season after season.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if I would do this with salmon. I think a whitefish would be the better way to go.
Yes.
Just because with the Pacific Northwest salmon, with the dill, goes with the light Pinot, and that's almost perfection.
Yes.
I wouldn't mess with that.
No.
But with the halibut, the scallops, yeah, especially. And I love to wrap my scallops with bacon and then crisp the outside. And the fattiness of the bacon would add a really fun texture with the waxous viscosity of this one. That would be fun.
You ever do a little brown sugar on the bacon?
Yes, of course.
Oh man.
Yeah, the brown
Those
sugar
are
would
my
be good.
favorite. Like
And then the
like
honey notes
Super
of
Bowl
this?
time. We do those.
That's a fancy Super Bowl spread. Oh my gosh. Scallops are spendy.
Yes, for our Super Bowl party. I don't know. We're doing one this year, but I can still make those scallops.
Yes. Yeah. I'm terrible with football. I'm like, who's winning the match? What's happening?
Oh, I just like the food.
Yeah, me too.
And the commercials.
And the commercials, of course. Yeah. But basketball, that's a whole nother story. So I'm still getting the very similar flavor profiles. Oh, a little bit of green Granny Smith apple now in the room temperature one is starting to pop out a little bit, which is a very common flavor profile in Semillon, but also indicates the presence of that prohibition of secondary fermentation. So we like to hang on to that acidity, and the signature of that would be those bright green apple flavors, the pear flavors. That's really nice. Yeah, I love the honeysuckle on the room temperature one.
Yeah.
That's just phenomenal.
That still brings me back to being a kid.
Yeah.
Going to recess and
Oh my god, we're so country Oregon. I love it.
searching the field.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, there's that big field behind the playground.
Yep.
We could go play in, which is kind of, I don't know if they would do that now.
It's very legal nowadays. Yeah.
But yeah, we would go hunt for honeysuckles.
Yep.
See who could find the most.
Mm-hmm.
Have our little stockpile.
Or we went through that phase where we would try to find grasshoppers to feed to the 4th grade teacher's tarantula.
Oh. I think that
There was that too. Was that just
your
me?
class. That was my class.
Such a tomboy. That was so late.
I'm pretty sure we were in the same class.
Yeah, but you were not having that. Yeah.
There were giant grasshoppers in those fields.
Yeah, there were.
I didn't like them.
Oh my gosh, that's so Oregon. I love it.
Yes.
I love it. So, how was your week been? How was your holiday?
It was good. I had a nice little break.
Yeah.
It was really nice.
hanging out at the family compound by the pool,
Yes.
getting spoiled with cocktails. Sounds amazing.
Yes, and great food.
Awesome.
Always.
Yeah, those grilled wings
Yes.
sound delicious.
Yeah, and I got a lot of masks done.
Nice.
Yes, for Josh's brother. My boyfriend's brother is going to New York, and he needs several masks.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can.
Gosh, if I was there, I would wear like 3 or 4.
I
Yeah, I know
know.
it's just been a hot spot there
Yeah,
for a while.
I did make them extra thick with fabric, and they have a pocket where you can put stuff in them, which is nice because you can put like a little ice pack in them if you need.
Oh, if it's too hot?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I know, yeah.
Yeah, that was a great idea that my friend told me about.
Nice.
Oh, she found some on Amazon. So I've got all those done, and they're all adjustable.
Cool.
Yeah. I've been perfecting my little mask assembly.
Yeah. Yeah, as many have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Did some hiking.
Cool.
Yeah. And some bicycling.
Activities are
Yes.
great. Outdoor activities. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how about you?
Well, I was here in the tasting room when you were away, and that was really fun for me. I don't get the opportunity to do shifts here as much, and it was really exciting. I got to meet new people and expand our our guest family and friends, and I worked 2 days out on the patio in 100-degree weather with a mask, and it was, I was like, I've never sweat on my face like this before. That was a whole new world.
Yes.
And now I truly understand when men wear beards and then they shave it in the summer, they're like,
Yeah.
you don't know how hot my face gets. Now I get it. I get it. Shave the
Yes.
beard. I get it. It's hot. Yeah.
Yeah. When I was hiking, it was hot, and I had to put the mask on twice because there was
people are
only
walking
2
by.
other people that were hiking in that hot weather.
Which is
But-
fortunate.
Yeah, but I was like, oh my gosh, it's so hot. Like, yeah.
Yeah, when it's 100 degrees, every little inch of fabric really changes
Yes.
your personal temperature. But we're happy to do it because it's the right thing to do, and
Yes.
we care for everyone in our community, so we will do what we can to ensure the safety of everyone. And it was really fun to have a lot of new people that I got to meet. And I left Sarah with a completely unstocked tasting room.
That's okay.
Because I literally sold out of everything. It
Which
was
is
just like,
awesome.
Yes, yeah, it was an excellent weekend. And there were only 2 times that I had to apologize to 2 members and go, I'm sorry, I'm not as fast as Sarah.
Oh, no.
One of them looked at me and went, you aren't.
No.
True, I'm not as fast as Sarah. So there were a few people that are going to be back in to see you because they missed you, even though I did my best. But yeah, it was really nice just to talk. I love seeing people and talking, and that's what I love about this industry is you meet
Yeah.
people from all over, and it's just wonderful to sit down and enjoy wine with people and talk with them. It's just lovely, and we had a few wine club members that came in that are very new to wine and very new to the difference of Pinot Noir. So we got to do, we got to do an impromptu. First we did a horizontal of 3 different vineyard sites, all the same year. They all had 3 different soil types, and they were the same clone. So we got to dive into what those differences were, and then also 1 vineyard, 3 different years vertically to see how the weather patterns really influence flavor diversity. And that was really fun for me because they were just learning, all the basics about it, and I got to showcase what we do.
Yeah.
So I loved it.
I love seeing people's reactions when they taste and it's so exciting and fun.
Yeah. That
Just
moment
the
when
differences.
when they go, what do you mean it's just the soil type? What do you mean that difference is just terroir? It's like it's nature. That's what you're tasting right there is a result of the growing year and the specifics of that one particular vine, and it is really special. It makes Oregon wine so unique.
Yes.
Yeah, that was really fun. And then the family, we got together and did a little day trip. We did a long drive and got to go to a beach, and that was really fun. I discovered one that I'd never heard of, never been to, and that was really awesome, and I'm not going to tell any of you about it.
How was the weather there, though? Was it
Oh, it was
hot?
it was windy and cold and
Oh, okay.
70. It was perfect. Because I've been in 100-degree weather for 3 days, and it was like,
loving it.
loved it.
Yes.
Loved it. Yeah. Yeah, so that was really nice, and yeah, I'm just trying to do my best to, stay positive and take care of my people in my community and friends and family and our guests, and just keep everyone kind of going. There's so much everywhere lately that I found that a lot of our guests this weekend, once I said, welcome, how are you? Things nowadays, people do not go, I'm great, they all go,
Yeah.
It's just there's a lot of heavy hurts in the world right now, a lot happening, and so just, working with all that, and it was nice.
Yeah.
Great to have you back.
It's great to be back.
Yeah.
All right. Next week, we're going to try a really fun one. The 2013 Single Vineyard Pinot Noir from Winestyle Vineyard.
Ooh.
Which is a super fun one to talk about.
It is. A lot of stories about that wine. Oh,
yes.
A lot of stories about that vineyard. That's going to be great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. So, recap, how can people get the Semillon if they're interested in it?
So we have the 6-pack, our virtual tasting 6-pack. It's on the promotions page on the website. And then if you want to just get a single bottle, you can email me at sarah@cypherwinery.com, and we'll figure out how to get you one.
Sarah's got the lowdown on that. We only have 5 cases left, so that'll be a personal conversation you'll have to have with our wine concierge. Really fun episode. I really enjoyed talking about this. So thank you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll see you next week.
Bye.